Okay, I think that's it. So here we go. So welcome to week 6, which is the peer review week. So I have a PowerPoint and everything, but I wanted to um, just show you a couple things that are on Canvas that are useful. For example, so here we are. We're going to modules, and then we're going to week 6, and that's here. And so what happened was for your discussion, I broke everybody into groups, right? So there's A, B, C, and D, and everybody's name is there. So what you want to do is you find the group that you are in, right? And you click on that group. I also sort of assigned partners just to make this easier for everybody. So the theory is you want to post your essay so that it can be reviewed as soon as possible. So you could post the same one that you turned in already, or if you made some more changes or added to it, you could post that one. But you want to sort of have that posted as soon as you can, because then you want to be able to do the peer review and have that done, I think, by Friday night. Although, the official time might still be on Sunday, but we're trying to get it done a little bit earlier so people have time to work with the feedback that they got and help them revise the essay. Um, Even still, though, like all next week is the revising time. So you find your name, you go down, you can just do everything by reply, right? You can just reply to the main um, post. You can attach your draft there. What they want you to do also is at the beginning, you want to basically write a paragraph where you talk about what are your at least 3 of your main revision goals. Basically, I would say the things that you are struggling with as far as the essay. All right, so you are going to write a paragraph being like, this is what I'm, worried about or need to work on or something, just so that the reviewer has some idea of, where you are at. The peer review, that's not it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So how about because my problem is I don't know which part I have to mention to be revised, because to be honest, I don't know which part I want to ask them, like ask my partner to like did you get a chance to look at my draft?
I haven't yet. So what I'm going to do, right? So I'm looking at the drafts this week as well, and I'm making comments on them. But basically, what you wanted here, I do have
Just
this.
wondering if you can give me some idea about my draft. So what should I ask my partner to look at specifically on my
Right.
draft?
Well, here's the thing. So you could do what I would do is use this outline, and what you're doing is you could use this outline or you could use this other checklist that I made, right? This checklist it goes through each part of the essay and talks about how it should be. So the introduction paragraph should do these things. So what you're trying to do is, you can look at your own writing and decide whether, have you done these things for the introduction? If you're not sure or whatever, you can just write, you could just type in, I'm worried that, about my introduction, or I might need help making that longer or whatever. Um, and then, so I'm thinking this might be the one to use, this checklist idea. So you have your draft open and you sort of go through your draft and you decide which areas you're not sure about. That's about it. No matter what, the peer review sheet, they're going to sort of look at all parts of your essay, they're going to look at even more than what you point out. So you're just going to mention 3 things that so the person knows, okay, they have an idea of what you're, most worried about. But the peer review sheet actually is going to make them go over um, everything.
Okay.
Let me. So you write a paragraph. You say, okay, these 3 things. I'm not sure about my conclusion. Maybe my conclusion's not good enough, or do I use? Am I using enough quotes or sources? So you just put in whatever you sort of have a general concern over. But they're actually going to go through each aspect of your essay and respond to it and make a suggestion for it.
In front of it, right?
In what? From what?
I mean, we have to respond. We have to respond to our. Whoever we assign to,
Yeah.
like in
exactly.
this sheet,
Yep.
sheet, right?
This one right now. Yep. The one you're looking at. This is for your partner, right? So you're going to put student you are reviewing. You put in their name, then you're putting in your name, and then for each of these things, you're going to look at. So is the thesis statement narrow and arguable? And you're going to say yes, it is. So in the answer place, and I wanted to make sure people knew this. You want to make sure in each box, I guess, you have at least 3 full sentences. So this is trying to push people. So you're saying things, and you want to make a suggestion. And if you can, you want to quote from their own essay, right? So if you have a suggestion or something's unclear, you can sort of pull it out and say, so here's the quote, or here's where I got confused. Or another thing to do, like, is the thesis. So it says, is the thesis narrow and clearly arguable? Maybe I find their thesis or what I think their thesis is, copy and paste it, and then say, so this is your thesis, and I'm not sure that it's clear enough or whatever. So in any event, so each of these boxes has at least 3 sentences responding, and a suggestion. You want to force yourself to make at least one suggestion. Even if you're reading something, you're like, this is pretty good, right? So, one possible suggestion that would help them. So I'm thinking actually it might be helpful. I can give some hints or some ideas. So you can make comments about transitions, even from sentence to sentence, from paragraph to paragraph, introduction and conclusion. Why is this so? Okay, let me make sure. I don't want to keep jumping around too much. So I can fill in some more and I can post this in the discussion. That's the other thing I'll do. So I'll put a few things, but basically, whatever they're talking about in the column, you're looking at that and you're trying to say, okay, like look at the order of the paragraphs, right? So does it make sense that they start with this idea and then this idea and then this idea? Or would it make more sense for them to reverse it or whichever? So, but no matter what, for each of these things, you're basically trying to respond to it, and then make a suggestion. And if you can, you want to like quote from their own writing, because that helps people understand what you're talking about. I'll show these again. And then when you finish the peer review sheet, you basically just go to your partner's initial post and you reply and just connect and say, here it is. And you upload it to them so that they have it.
Okay.
That's essentially it. Now here's so everybody has their own, like each group has its own discussion board. So that's where the peer review takes place. There's still sort of the regular discussion board where obviously not a lot of discussions happening since it's all happening in the groups, but I'm still using it to post things. So I wanted to remind people to stop there and look for things. I have something about transitions from sentence to sentence, basically like how you can repeat certain words so that
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a clear connection between one sentence and the next and the next. So I have an example of that. I think I have, oh, that's explaining it. So that's my explainer about the transition from sentence to sentence. This is that checklist I was just talking about. If you want to use
Mm-hmm.
this checklist to go over your own essay and see what you might need, that would probably be good.
Mm-hmm.
And you can download a copy of that there.
Is it all in the discussion board, right?
Yeah, this is all in the
Mm-hmm.
main discussion board. I also
Mm-hmm.
sort of went through, and I may still be able to do this. I also tried to start putting, since I know most people are just going straight to their own groups, I started to put it these for each group too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to post on a little video about writing conclusions. So I have to still post that, but that'll also be there. So just basically make sure you check in on the main discussion board, just because, since you're not actually typing anything there, people will forget. But you want to go there to see the different things that I'm posting to try to help people as a peer review someone else's, and then also when they turn to revising. So the theory is this week they really want people to very much pay attention to reviewing somebody else, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
putting all of your energy into reading and talking about and discussing your partner's essay. So you're not really worried about revising your own thing yet. You're sort of trying to train your focus on theirs, make comments on the different parts of the essay, make suggestions for how. And then next week, you're going to have my feedback, you're going to have your peer feedback, and then we're going to talk about how to different
Revise.
things. Yeah, different
Uh-huh.
things to do to revise the essay.
So basically, just this week, we need to just want to clarify with you. I need to post my concern about about my essay and ask my peer reviewed my essay to like get her suggestion, and also do the and review my assigned classmate and review her things and do fill out those sheet.
Yep. So you're going to fill out the peer review sheet for your partner. Exactly. So when you post yours, you're just going to say, there's a couple people.
Just wondering regarding the grades, since we are going to just submit it on a discussion board,
Mhm.
do we need to submit it on a things that for the grade for this week?
Oh, I see what you mean. It's
Mhm.
actually, I've set it up so that when you attach it to your partners,
Mhm.
then I'll be able to see it, and so you're fine. You don't have to submit it somewhere else also.
Okay. So basically everything is going to be just submitted on the discussion board.
There's one other assignment though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, let me show you this. Wanted to do the. Okay, so she talks about the main revision goal that I would like my final draft to include, and I'm not sure if my thesis. So anyway, this is just an example. So only a few people have started so yet. Okay. Here is the other assignment. So that's the peer reviews, the big one. They're calling this a journal, which is interesting. 2 paragraphs you're writing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're calling it your journal, your progress journal, I guess. So in your first full paragraph, please discuss what you feel have been your successes and difficulties in using argumentative techniques in these different areas, right? So this is trying to get you to start the process of looking at what you had most trouble with, or may need to. So for example, this says so writing a strong introduction and thesis statement. So you want to talk about whether that was easy or difficult, or how that went for you. finding and addressing opposing viewpoints. What about that was more difficult? Maybe you're still having difficulty, right? You're just going to talk about it. So it's basically for these 5 things, you're just going to go through and explain like what you found, what you felt like you succeeded at, like you did pretty well, and what you found sort of difficult to do. Because that will help when we get to next week for revising, right? This sort of gives us a sense of what you might be weaker on, right? Versus what you did pretty well. So that's one paragraph, a paragraph where you address these different ideas and explain whether.
So one paragraph for each of the question, or one paragraph for the whole?
One paragraph for the whole. So all
Okay.
5 of these things, I go into one paragraph. So it's a few sentences for each thing. Right, you're like, I think I did a really good introduction, but I'm not sure about my thesis, or my thesis was hard to come up with, or something.
And
some
where
people,
we need to post this?
So this is going to be it's going to have its own place to go.
Okay.
And then the second paragraph is similar, because what it's going to do is it asks you to create a plan for how you're going to strengthen each of the sections, right? So the first paragraph is all about what you did well, what was successful and what you struggled with. And then the next paragraph is all about what is your plan for making something stronger, right? So writing a strong introduction and thesis statement, you could be like, okay, I want to find, like a little story that I could tell that will really make the introduction, more engaging or something. Finding and addressing viewpoints. So it's you trying to come up with ideas just in these areas for how you want to improve that part of the essay. Same thing, all 5 of these things in one paragraph.
Okay.
And then when you have that, so it's on a document, you have 2 solid big paragraphs, and then here in module 6, after the discussion, there's the assignment, which is the draft of it's a progress journal. So you will go there and submit your 2 paragraphs. So that's the assignment, right? Where you're writing 2 paragraphs and you're submitting that as an assignment. And then you're doing the peer review, which is you have your own little discussion board, you're exchanging essays. And when you exchange it, you're going to just tell the person what you might need to work on. Then you're going to fill out the peer review sheet. And when you're done, you're going to reply and attach it to their original post so they have access to it. And that will be it.
So the 2 paragraph due on Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And I even want to look and see, but about the.
Hopefully from now on, our assignment is getting easier.
Sort of. It should definitely. I mean, yeah, it's a different kind of. I think it's a different kind of working, but I do think generating material is always the hardest, I think. But once you have something to work with, like revising and so on.
Yeah.
And there's also a quiz that is there every week. I forget to mention that, but most people seem to be able to find that.
Oh, we have quiz this week as well? Okay.
Yeah. So peer review, 2 paragraphs, and a quiz. Those are the.
And the final, I noticed that we have a final quiz as well, right?
At the you mean the last week? Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk all about that because that's an interesting thing. But yeah, I'll make sure everybody knows what that is. That's what we do week 8. So really,
it's gonna be like like the quiz that we took it before. Like it's gonna be multiple choice.
Trying to remember, it's I don't even think it's that. It's more of if it's the same one, I think I'll check. I think it's yeah, it's not a real final exam actually. Instead, you're like have to make up an argument or something. So you're going to do that. So you don't have to worry about answering questions really. Anyway, we'll talk about that
Okay.
when we get there. Yeah, but it's not going to be a traditional like these quizzes, like a bunch of those questions. It's something different and it's better. It's way better and easier, I think,
Okay.
and more creative. That's why I like it, I think.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, you good?
Yes.
All
If
right,
I have any question, I will email you or text you. But
perfect.
I'm good for now.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you. Have
All
a
right,
great day.
you too. I'll see you
Thank
later.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.